Okay, welcome back. I have a Vice story, not a gross one, unfortunately. We'll have other ones on that one on realcopstoryvideos.com. Look up the gross ones, you'll like them. We found that most of our most popular ones are the gross ones, and that's fine. Okay. This is bookmaking, and bookmaking is basically, and it still happens today, but not as much because we have a lot of off-track, we have a lot of internet betting. But back in the day, in the 70s and 80s, you had bookies that would walk up and down streets into bars, and they take horse action. And the reason why it's against the law is because obviously the racetrack people have a lot of lobby in California, but also it's kind of a ripoff because this bookie will make $300 or $400 a day and maybe pay out 30. Because if you're going to the racetrack, seriously, you don't win. I've gone to the racetrack with my daughter. I love going to the racetrack. I'll take $100 and I'll win one race. I'll win $30 in one race. Yeah, but I lost 70. Okay, so you really can't. So that's what they're trying to control. What we are trying to control is street bookmaking. Okay, and sometimes you'll have bars in the back rooms. They'll set up a bookmaking room where they'll have a guy on a phone and bettors will walk in with a secret code and they get in there and they're sitting around in a room and they're taking bets and the bookies in there taking the wagers. Well, when we work Vice, that's what Vice does. So when I work in Vice, you would deal with informants, and I had an informant tell me that this particular bar had a back room that was had an electronic switch on the door, and you know somebody to get in there, and they have a room with couches, and they have the radio on with the racetrack going and all that stuff. So and of course we pay informants for this information, and also for the subsequent arrest we make. It depends on how many arrests we made, how many bodies, how much evidence we get, and then the informant's paid. Okay, I'll tell you. If I remember the story, I'll tell you what he got paid for this. Okay, so we go to the bar. I'm undercover, and he introduces me to the bartender, and that's the key guy. Okay, so we're talking and everything else, and then since they know the informant, that's a buddy, and I'm his friend now. They give me the secret word. I don't remember what it was to this day to get in the back room. Okay, so we go around the bar, go on to the other side, and there's a door there, and we knock on it, and through the door, and this is so dramatic as a little trap door like the old movies, you know, in the 20s, and you say the word. I wish I remember the word. It was something around the script. Anyway, so the door opens up and we go in, and there's like 4 or 5 guys in there, and there's a guy on a phone, and the phone guy's the bookie, and this guy's helping him. It's a little you know, horse betting room. So I go in there and we do some okay, fine. And of course I got a lot of money, so I'm in there and I got a sheet out. I got a newspaper clipping out. And I'm making wagers, and I'm writing down the wagers I made with who, and I'm also writing my evidence for court. Okay, so I'm doing that, and I'm in there for a couple hours. We usually go in there right before first post, which is like 12:30. First post in Santa Anita is like 10 to 1 or 1 o'clock. So we're in there like 12:30 making wagers. I'm in there a couple of hours. My partner's outside waiting, and I come out and say goodbye. I see you tomorrow. Okay, fine. I go in the car and I go, oh man, I've got a lot of stuff here. I got the bartender. I got the guy on the phone. I got the guy at the door. Oh, this is great. Okay, so I'm starting to type up a search warrant. So you got to go back another time. So I go back another time, a couple days later, and I'm in there, and the guy that was on the phone wasn't in that day, and so they asked me, hey, how about if they saw how I was, because I've done this a while, they asked me, hey, you want to do the phone? Oh yeah, I'll do the phone. Okay, so I pick up the phone, and I'm kind of laughing to myself because I'm in the middle of this now. I mean, I was going to be just a bettor sitting on the couch. Now I'm involved in this and that. So I'm on the phone, I'm calling, and people call up. Yeah, give me a, Smacker Man in the fourth, at Hyde Park. Okay, fine, you got it. What's your name? Okay, fine. So I'm writing all this stuff down. And I can't take that sheet because I want to take it with me for court evidence, but I can't because I have to leave it with the main bookie. The bookie had to leave. He came back. So bookie's back talking, and he released me on the phone. So he sits on the phone. So I'm sitting there going, okay, fine. So I'm there a couple hours again. So now I said, well, I'm leaving town. Can I come back Friday? Oh, yeah, sure, fine. Well, Friday's going to be our raid day, okay? So I take off. This is like Wednesday, okay, Thursday. Well, it's Wednesday, because then I spend all day, rest of the day Wednesday, and all day Thursday getting search warrants and arrest warrants. I'm going crazy. Okay, so good. Okay, so in the meantime, I come in Thursday for a second. I don't want to go in the room. And we're always searching for additional suspects, okay? I knew the bartender was involved because that's how I got in there to begin with. So I wanted to get him. And I thought, well, getting him to introduce me to the room, his attorney could say, well, he doesn't know what's going on back there. Okay, fine. So I walk in and I go, hey, look, I'm in a hurry. I got to go. I said, I can't go in the room right now. I said, oh, yeah. Can you give this to so-and-so? Yeah, sure. So I wrote down a wager, handed it to him. Okay, thanks. And I left. He is a bookie, okay? We call that harpooning. Got him, okay? So we call that in those days. So when I walk into that bookie room, oh, here's a bet. Harpoon. I got harpoons flying everywhere, okay? So I got him. I walk out. I'm laughing to my car. Okay, so I go in the car and off we go. So I spent all day Thursday. I got the bartender, unnamed bartender, identified by me, and all this stuff. Because a lot of guys, you don't know their names. So you have to describe what they look like. And then when you pop them, you put the description with the name. When you write the arrest report, you put the description, and you put ultimately turn out to be this gentleman and this gentleman. And it's really simple, but it's, Okay, so fine. So now here's raid day, okay? I'm in there, and I had a boss, a really good, really nice guy, and he's since passed away. My wife knows who he was, and I work for him. Really good guy. So he says, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. What they're going to do is I'm going to go in about 15 minutes past the first post, which would mean their first betting will start at 1, and then people start betting through the afternoon. The race goes off at like 1:10, and then 1:30 is the next race. So but right before the second race at 1:30, they're gonna come into that door with a battering ram, okay? Because it's not bolted, but it's got an electronic lock. So they're just gonna come in there with you have a 2 or 3 man ram, big old piece of pipe with cement in it, with a big thing on the end. They just ram it through that door, okay? So pretty cool. So okay, fine. So we're all set up. I go in there, and I'm not on the phone that day. So there's a bookie's on the phone. The doorman's near the door, and there's 3 or 4 of us sitting around everything. We're picking wagers, and look at the clock. 'Cause they have a clock there. They have to have a clock because they keep track of the races. And, it's one. Okay, so here it comes. I'm thinking, okay. Anxiety's leading up. Feel like a 9-year-old. We're gonna play, kickball, and you're like this. It's my turn. I'm next up. So I'm waiting. 1:30 hits. Okay. Nothing. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Well, it turns out they were having problems getting guys to arrive on time, and so my sergeant, that really nice sergeant, is kind of like, come on, he's in there. It's 1:35. We're late. Because. So I'm in there 1:35 going, okay, now are they messing with me? Is this one of those joke things where they're not going to come in at all? I mean, I have no idea what's going on. Well, about the time about 1:35ish, I'm thinking, are they going to come in? All of a sudden I hear this, boom! That door comes flying in. And the doorknob, which was right below the electronic thing, they hit that doorknob with the ram, which was trained to do. And the other side of the doorknob flew across the room at Mach 3. So somebody on the other side of that door would have killed them, okay? Because they hit that ram and busted that lock and busted the whole thing. And so here they come. He brought a bunch of blue suits and 2 more vice cops. There's only like 3 guys, the bookie and the doorman. So there's 5 arrestees in there. And at the same time, they're taking down the bartender, okay? So we all stand up, and of course they cuff everybody except me. And then they're looking at the bookie's looking at me, and I go, "How you doing? How you doing?" And I reached down where I won't tell you where I hid it. Had my badge hidden way down deep somewhere. And so now I know why that little pocket in the men's underwear is for. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So anyway, I pulled out my badge. I go, "Hey, it's Vice Squad." Oh man, no, he knew he was had. Okay. So we're walking out to take everybody away, and then here comes the team from the inside, and the bartender's chipping away. "You have nothing on me?" And then I go, "Hey." He goes, "Hey." He looks at me, and now I have it around my neck, and I have my badge on a chain. He looks. Oh, I said, "Gotcha." So get back in the car. Off we go. Okay. So close the place down. Call the owner. He came out. He said he didn't know anything about this. Maybe not. He just rents the place. Probably not. Who knows? Okay. He doesn't care as long as he gets his monthly rent. He doesn't care what happens over there. Can't prove anything on him. Can't prove anything on him anyway. So he just nailed up the place because one door was busted open. That was his back lounge, which was a bookie room, and he didn't have a bartender, so he closed the place up, and we just left. And that was it. I went down to the district attorney's office. They filed charges on everybody, and they all pled guilty because bookmaking is not a severe. Nobody goes to state prison for bookmaking. No, you get a fine. Fines are all over the place. They get a fine. The bar will get a fine. The guys that actually did the betting, depending on what their involvement is, $200 fine, $500 fine. It's all just fines. Just let them know, don't do it. Okay. And I don't know if they went back there. I don't think they did because we kept checking it. Maybe probably gone somewhere else. Who knows? So that's my bookmaking story. The biggest thing there was that door breaking open, and it was pretty cool because I didn't expect it. I thought they'd gone for the day. My partners left me behind. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy that, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.